in Chandler, Arizona, and I'm telling all of you, it's December the 5th, 2020. The year's gone, and this year's been not a really good. It's been a bad year for me. I had two beautiful, beautiful little dogs, and I just lost my beautiful cat, and then I lost my two beautiful dogs. And worse than that, September the 1st, I lost my youngest daughter, Brenda Kay. And I adored my daughters. They were wonderful. It was my honor and my privilege. And there's Brenda right there. Brenda, she was beautiful. And my other daughter, Terry Lynn, they're the light of my life. And all I'm talking about is you old men out there, you old ladies out there that once you were beautiful, beautiful, and it's so hard, especially for a lady, to think about losing that beauty. It's hard for a guy, too, to get old. And we remember how it used to be, okay? In this sonnet number 828, I wrote it 11 years ago. That it used to be, and it's still that way. I was talking to a fella here about how America has always been cowboys. From the very beginning, it's been blood for blood. It's been a life for a life. America's always been cowboys. And this guy I'm talking about, I read about him in a newspaper. This is 11 years ago I read about this guy. And he still popped up in my notes. This guy was truly, truly crazy. Really bad. His name was Howard Unruh. An insane monster. Through and through. It said 11 years ago he's now dead. It's like a celebration of this man's death because he was a coward with a gun. Well, I got news for them. He wasn't a coward. He was a World War II veteran that cracked up. He shot down, this Howard Unruh, he shot down 3 victims. Camden, New Jersey ran red with blood. In October the 19th, 2009, 11 years ago, he died. He spent 60 years in a mental hospital getting fed for free every day. He was a murderer who in 1949, he's been in a mental hospital for 60 years, not having to work. The taxpayers are being bled dry. What does he get for killing 13 people? He gets free 3 square meals of food a day, clean sheets, clean clothes every day. He gets a free TV. He's doped out on psychotropic, hard word to say, psychotropic chlorpromazine, a drugged up haze. 60 years on a taxpayer's dole. The insane asylum's outrage expense. It's hard, a lot of money to run an insane asylum. This man murdered 13, a bloody massacre of Camden, New Jersey citizens. Senseless violence. He's one of those people. One of those people that what? It's called Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a great guy. And he's got this movie about, he's crazy. He murdered his 3 little kids. And then he stabbed his wife to death. And now he's crazy. And they're trying to trick him. Why? They're going to give him a lobotomy. And this man here, he deserved it, a lobotomy. He slaughtered 13 people. He killed 5 men, 5 women, 3 children. No mercy. He confessed to this terrible crime. His killings, ugly and grisly. He shot a bride. She'd only been married 6 weeks. She was begging for her life. He shot her right in her head. Hiding behind a hobby horse chair, a 6-year-old boy. He was shot dead. A 3-year-old boy peeking out a window from his home, shot in the head, dead. Seeing a 10-year-old boy wounded, dying of his wounds, cruelly cut down, a child. And then there's all these thriving psychiatric workers. They cut themselves paychecks. They get benefits. They get pensions to deal with these crazy people, making a living, condoning, pampering, dappering, giving diapers to vile demons. 125 years of psychiatry, and things are now just much worse. Now it's not one iota better. You're surviving by putting patients into comas, permanent bedwetters, senseless therapy sessions, group catharses, prison environments. 50,000 lobotomies. Think of that. You guys have done 50,000 lobotomies. You know what a lobotomy is? And that movie, Shutter Island, Leonardo DiCaprio, they're luring that man into a lobotomy. They can't control him. He won't take his medication. And he's crazy. He's a murderer. And they know it. And he won't take his meds. So they're going to give him a lobotomy. And I'll tell you what that is. They stick a needle in your eye. And they take the ice pick and they run it around the front of your brain. And what are you left with? Lobotomies. Cutting into a patient's brain with ice picks. Straitjackets. Electroshock. Electroconvulsive radical therapy. Modern insane asylums, bedlams, padded rooms, restraints, silence of insanities. They're just scary. Thousands of mentally ill are in hospitals. Hey, there's multitudes of mentally ill people free outside. We spent billions on McNaughton's rule. What does that say? That it's society that dies because it says that nothing these crazy people do can't be helped. This guy here, Howard Unruh, killed 13 people. He should have been euthanized. He was breathing our air for 60 years. It is true. Saul Alinsky's demon, the devil's rule. Use law to create despair. What are we going to do with these crazy people? It's awful. Overloading the system until no one can survive. Victims be damned. Nobody ever talks about the victims. Those 13 people died. They all had family. The Lord above said, a life for a life. It's the sixth command. Thou shalt not kill. Well, maybe some people deserve to be killed. An eye for an eye, a life for a life, like this Howard Unruh. Blood for blood, a life for a life. Leniency with killers creates total bedlam. They can get away with murder. They get 3 hots and a cot and TV. It creates a cloudless and ceaseless flood of chaos. Taxpayers bankrupt. Society becomes the insane asylum. And it's true. If the whole world is an insane asylum, it's only right that it should be controlled and patrolled by armed idiots. Makes sense to me. Makes a sense to the elites too. It's going to be like Big Brother. They're going to run everything like Big Brother. Society is insane asylum. This Howard Unruh, he killed 13 people. He had 60 years of pension. Satan's kingdom has come, because that's what happens to these people. We try to help them and we can't, and we're too afraid. They're breathing our air, and this guy should have been euthanized. Why? Thou shalt not kill, and you give your life because you took a life. Simple as that. Thank you for listening. God bless us, everyone. Et me qui vous aime. Au revoir, mes amis.